Welcome to Saw Logs Plastic Hubs. I'm going to break down and start using that term again for you people who probably don't know me well. Just a few videos I've shot to see. I used to competition go-kart race many years ago. And actually the story goes a little further back now. My dad was into making fishing lures. One of the things we made was a wooden plug to pull flies behind for white bass fishing. We called saw logs. I used to make a lot of them on wood lathe for the business. So I've kind of always used that as a handle. So back in the day when I was kart racing, I made what we call plastic hubs where you could put go-kart wheels on. And I used that to support my racing. I actually made a lot of them a little small Chinese lathe. So that's the thing you're going to hear a lot more of now. Probably you're going to start seeing the channel names or the artwork change somewhere along the way, stuff like that. So, but anyway, I'm off again today, some vacation. Actually, I was supposed to be assisting my Chris, but she's postponed a procedure. So yesterday I was off and I didn't video it. I basically come in here and cleaned up, so somewhat. Now the workbenches they need to clean, but I'll get to them later. So with no further ado, we're going to get into today's work, and what today's work is a drawbar wrench I'm going to work on today some. So that's what the plan is. First, before we work on the drawbar wrench, and I want you to look at my mill now that I've got it all up and ready to go. One of the challenges of my shop here in this building is it's unheated and uninsulated. A lot of buildings like these were built and people wasn't intending on working in them. I mean, some of them did if they made them into garages or stuff. This building's about the size of a one-car carport, roughly. And it is very sturdily built, even with the wooden floors. And you can see this mill sits there just fine. So if you'll notice on my mill, one of the things you'll probably be seeing over a period of time is the insulation being put in, some better heating. I already got an air conditioner in the window. But if you'll notice, you see how I've got this mill set up. There was a lot of extra holes. That's why I put me a place for my brass hammer. My vise is mounted and trimmed. That was fun yesterday. The DRO, and the head is trimmed too. I only have the small Pro Trim. I bought it for my mini mill, which I still got in another building. I'll probably be putting up for sale. So you'll notice how I've got it up. One of the things I did down here, I don't think it makes any difference. You notice how I Y-tied these together because they don't move. And you'll see their spaces. This is one of the things you used to do. We made looms for race cars. Instead of buying looms, you would take wire wraps. Then I just got the Y-axis. This is the Y-axis. It's just looped up so it won't be in the floor. These holes was already in the mill. I just opened the brackets up to 1/4 20. So everything is. I'm going to actually use the mill some with this project. I don't know if we'll get to it today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to work on the lathe, and I'm going to kind of set you up on the mill bed. It's that close. It's sort of like double boosted shop. The machines are really, really close together. And I'm going to get ready and start on this project. So enjoy. Okay, hopefully you can see what we're doing. I got you above the lathe here. This is a 3/4 socket. I've already picked it up. This one actually comes from AutoZone, but it don't matter where. What I've done is I already cut the square end of it off in the lathe. And so what I'm going to do is just bore it out. I'm not boring it to a size. I'm going to bore it out before I take the burr out to match be close to the original size. So that what I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see in there, but I'm not boring this to a size. There we go, that's what I want. So I'm boring that out to original size. This is my little boring bar. I don't have enough studs mounted up there for that, so that set resides down here under the table on the shelf I made. All right. Let's put a little chamfer on it. One of my viewers commented on my tool holder, said he had had a hard time drilling the holes in. I'm going to show you this real quick. This is a chamfering tool. That's basically, and what I've done when I milled these out, and these is all milled in my little mill, a lot of times you don't have a lot of space, and so instead of trying to use a full-size screw like your BXA block in this case uses, I drilled these out to 1/4-20. If you try to do this yourself, if you got the equipment and want to do it, make sure you're drilling for about 50% of the thread. These things are made out of some tough steel when you do this. This is basically a 1/4-20 rod, and I've made all the pieces. I mean, you've seen it in other videos, but this is sideways I'm doing with it. I don't care if it chatters a little bit. We're going to cover it up with weld anyway. All that is this is going to be welded, so that's all that's about. So there we are for that. So the socket's done, and that's it. So now I'm going to start in my centerpiece, and I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of this by guess and by gosh. I'm just going to kind of make it up as I go, and I'm going to put a piece of brass here on the end, and it's a knocker. So a lot of this is by guess and by gosh, and I'm going to be honest, it's just in my head. I've just looked at the picture of the wrenches. I made something else out of this piece of steel and then forgot what it was. So it has a little piece on the end here, and all I'm doing is sort of cleaning the end up. Going to be good enough, because I'm going to turn it down to fit inside of this, and I need to stop right now though and grab my caliper. This isn't got to be a tight fit, people. All it's got to do is go up in there, and I need to make a decision here. Again, I'm just going to do this with the calipers, just because all it's got to do is slide right up inside of that socket. So I need to decide how much I want to slide up inside. There we go, set the work stop. I'll probably turn most of this by hand. And So this has got to be about 720, 730. I just care if it slides in there a little loose because we're going to weld them together. So we'll see how much we got to go. That's about $9.95. So we got 720. So that means we're going to take a good bit of cut here. I'm just hand feeding this as it's a short. Like I said, this is a caliper measurement. Okay, so that's 890. So we got a 720. So 890. I'll go this. I'm just going to cut get us around 790. Okay, that's 810. It's about 100,000. So let's see. 60. It should be within 20-30,000, so that's what I'm shooting for. Oh, wait a minute, that's 8. No. Well, that's close. Want to slip in there, so that should do it. That should get this to slide right in. Yeah, it's a little loose, but that's good. There we go. That's what I wanted. Just a little bit loose to slide up. We're set up. Start doing the process here by cutting this off. Now I'm going to tell you, I've never had no trouble with my cutoff. I've used these insert. I love these insert cutoffs, and I really do. And but I'm you know, probably we could run more RPM, but I have found just running to something, you know, right there 70, and I actually use the machine to feed. A lot of people say not to do that, but I've had good results with it. And I just turn my power feed on, let it feed at 70 RPM on steel. Now aluminum and brass, I'll go a lot more. I'll get a lot more aggressive on my aluminum than my brass than I will on steel. But you can take these cuts. I'm gonna probably, well, I'll face this off when I get done, and then we'll drill and tap a 1/4 inch, 1/4 20 hole in this. So I'm gonna do all the lathe work at one time. So I'm gonna make the brass piece that goes on the hammer. It's going to hit the end of the drawbar, obviously, and I mean, you see these, and this is, I'm gonna, you know, you can buy these tools what, $20, $25. I mean, a lot of guys, well, with my shop, I really ain't got the room to put the power drawbar set up and actually the stroke on that Lagun too. It seems to be my drawbar, you know, you using that full stroke of that head on that Lagun, and you're running into something. So we're going to actually use the Lagun to drill this. So I got my Rome drill chuck in, so we're going to use it to drill it, and hopefully we'll get this ready to weld today. I've got other things I got to do today. I got to go see my mother in nursing home and stuff. So it's a little cool this morning, and it's first day of November. You know, our winters are not bad in North Carolina, but for us who really, you know, our summers are really, you know, fairly hot. But our winters are not too bad. They're fairly mild. You know. The only trouble with these unheated shops, you really got to keep oil. I keep towels and old bath rugs on my mill just to keep the table somewhat insulated. Like I say, eventually I want to insulate this shop, so we'll have a... All right, there we go. See, now that is not painful at all. All right, so this thing hang loose a second. We'll set it and give this a whirl. It's got my old brush. So we'll just set the hang loose there a second. I'll bring you back and we'll set up the drilling tap. I'm gonna go ahead and bore you, I guess. I started not to. Already center drilled it and get my, and now I always like to, it's probably one of my personal preferences, I prefer a lot of times, unless I just got a strength reason, which most stuff that I'm doing is not a strength reason. Usually just go ahead and drill out a little bigger. You know, I usually go for in this particular case, I'm going to use a 7, which is going to give me about around 70 to 75% of the thread, which is plenty strong enough, and it's just so much easier to tap it. Boy, I don't think that's right. I ain't got a .20 tap in my hand. I don't believe that's... I picked up the wrong tap. Excuse me just a second, I'll be right back. That didn't look right. And I picked up the tap and it was a... What I've done was I got some in a set, or an old set of Craftsman that I use, and I've over the period of time bought new taps. So what I've done is I like using my good taps. And I had this .20 out because I was re-tapping some holes. It's really my favorite size to use and a lot of stuff. When I made go-kart hubs, you had to use .28 in the plastic. Actually what we did, but that is I had a wheel I used for a jig. I still got it around in one of the buildings. And I would turn them on the lathe. What I actually did was cut them out on a drill press, and with a circle cutter. And then I drilled them on the drill press and deburred them. I actually had 2 drill presses, and then I took the 3/4. They fit a 3/4 arbor. They went on for the to be used, and used the 3/4 bolt and the lathe to turn them. So I'd turn them down to the steps and hit them with a file of chamfer. But this, when I run out of this is going to be plenty deep enough. I just drilled it. This didn't really matter how deep I drilled this. Alright, I think that's going to be plenty deep enough for this. Alright. Then we'll go ahead and get our brass piece machined that we want to put on the end here is for the other. It'll be done basically the same way, except this is going to be a little chunk of brass. Okay, that steel's machined. And this little piece of brass, I've got some, around the shop. I'm just going to make it, so we'll just face it off right quick and do the same thing. I'm not going to turn, the ODs are fairly close. It's going to get beat up anyway, so it's a shop tool, so I'm not getting into trying to be pretty. See, now I'm cutting off brass, I'll throw it a little faster, so this is about 220. Aluminum, I'll just run it at 400, 500, 6, whatever. I got my cross feed set about 2 to 3 thou per rail cross, and about 6 over. That's kind of what I don't ever mess with, actually. I wanted a little bit of weight, so that's why I'm making the head about that. I'm trying to balance the weight out as much as I can. Should be falling off any second. Okay. Now we face it off, and we've got a hammer. Or we'll face it, and then we'll put a chamfer on. Okay, I'll just stick a quick chamfer on this and all of it, and then we'll have to go over here and set up to drill the hole. And we'll set this, and I'm one more step I've got to do in the lathe, so I might as well do it because, well, I know. Okay, because what I'm wanting to do, what I do? Laid the wrench in the wrong spot. Alright, so there's all the components right there. We're going to try something here. This is the first video. Whoa, I got an air cover on my there. This is the first video we're going to make with the Lagun. This is actually the first time I've actually used it. So we're all going to be in for a treat together. So, one thing about this big ass table on this wheel, it's hard to get close to. Let me do that. I need to be down just a hair bit more. I'm just using the quill to set this. So That one's, do a little sanity check. Oh gosh, that looks good. I used my half function the first time. Okay. Now I got, well, the only thing now I need to do is center it up in the y-axis. I'm just going to go ahead and do it that way too. Play with my DRO some. So this is a new DRO for me. So my table is now locked in the X and at 0, so I won't have to worry about it no more. I know there's easier ways to do this, but hey, I got a new DRO, I'll play with it. Tell you what, since I've already got 0 set, I could use the vice. We can just see how it comes out. Must be touching. That thing must be touching. And I'm just... I goofed up a minute ago. I'm still not used to this new DRO. And there we go. Oh, it hit the wrong one. If I go back and redo this, I hit the wrong button. Instead of hitting the right function, bear with me, I'm learning. I've never used a half function before, so this is new to me. Okay. Got done me and Mr. Bozo. Sitting there hitting the clear button, it's the half function. That's real smart when you do stuff like that. So now we're going to go ahead and I need to get that. All right. All right, let's see if we can get down here. Hope that. Oh, yes. Okay, everything looks good and in the center. thing is on this mill, by the way, too. So it's an adventure for me, folks. I'm learning as I go. I'm not a mill person by trade. I'm more of a lathe person. But I'm getting there, and I like this mill. While I'm dropping ahead, another tool I'm going to make is one of those things. Now I've already got the idea in my head, and I've looked at several other people's who's made them. I mean, I know, again, we can go to YouTube or somewhere and order one, but I'm going to be retired and I'm going to do some of this stuff for fun. Let's get this home. Check my tool where I'm going to have my bolt. Here it is. Oh yeah, there's plenty, so it's good there. So that'll line right up the weld too. Oh, now all we got to do is set up the weld and do the weld. Good. So we'll get to it. You've seen me knurl a lot, so I just didn't do it. So basically what I've got here is just my handle. It's going to be just a piece of aluminum, and I just kind of lined it up what I wanted. Basically this is a piece of aluminum bar stock. And I'm just going to run right now I'm going to do this half 13, which is half 13s is always fun. They're big taps. I like spiral. I bought some spiral flutes, and then I forgot where this was, an Inco or a Travis tap, and I bought a higher quality import. So I buy a lot of I buy a lot of my supplies online from Traverse Tool. Ever since since the MSD bought out bought out Inco, our own basically cut deals out on Inco. Traverse has a warehouse in Spartanburg, South Carolina, which is just about an hour and a half away from here or something like that. So a lot of this stuff's stocked in their warehouse. And I can order, if I get a big enough order, it's free shipping, but I can order this stuff from Traverse. Like if I know them, I bought the taps. So I had some metrics in the Craftsman set, but I bought me some good metric taps to tap my, to do the, put the DRO on. And most of the time, if it's in their warehouse, it's actually in Duncan, I think, but still, like I say, basically between Spartanburg and Greenville. And basically, you can get it fairly much within 2 days if you're really in a rush. Well, there's a local supply house here, and I'm gonna probably use them more now that I'm retired. I know I'm gonna need something like a tap or something. I'll probably go over to Gastonia, the house trip, and get them. But there's something odd like it. There's a fast nail, but so I'll probably do that. Look at this trap there. I want to make sure I got plenty of threads in this for what I'm going to do. I hope that thing will be cool. I got it laying outside where I welded it. I've got the bolt. What I basically, you've seen it. Basically, it's made out of piece of steel, piece of aluminum. Actually, it's an Allen head cap screw that I used to make the handle stud out of. Now, this is probably way more threads than I'm needing, but I'd rather have too many threads down in there than not enough. I have to come back and do this again because I don't want to have to cut this. Obviously, when I cut this off, I want. Whoa, there goes the camera. I got it on a mag base right here. Right now, and it just fell, so excuse me for that. But I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna kind of cut the camera off, blow this out right quick, and go get that tool, see if it's cool enough I can handle it, and check it, make sure it's gonna thread up in there before I cut it off. If you're careful, compressed air is not bad. That's the completed wrench right there. And like I say, I know you can buy these for $25, $30, most all the vendors, but it's this one. Basically, this is I cut a little bit here off of the lathe, as you can see, smooth it up after I finish it. So basically, what this is made out of, this is just a piece of cold rolled steel I had here in the shop. I don't know what. I don't have any leaded steel, so I didn't have to worry about that. This is a 3/4 socket that I picked up. I bought it. Actually, I bought it at AutoZone. 3/4 deep well socket. And then this is a piece of brass I had here in the shop. This is drilled 1/4 and locked together here. Then this is just a 1/2" Allen bolt that I cut off and faced to make the handle. That's why the handle's a little longer, so you could use the Allen bolt. So I didn't have to turn it. And then I had a piece of aluminum for the handle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to store it over here next to my collets, right like this on a cut off on a bolt. So that's my storage for the. Started to mount it on the mill. But my thinking is, well, I'm going to be, when I get collets is when I need to change the drawbar. So hopefully that will work. If not, we'll change it.